Hey, what's up guys? Today we're going to be diving into a game that I don't really see a lot of people talk about. That game is called Anima Gates of Memories. Now this game feels like you just stuck your hand deep into the Walmart bin of movies and just like pulled whatever the hell out, and this is what you got.
This place is devastated. I didn't think that the war had already come this far.
Ignore that nonsense, baby.
What the hell? That's the book talking, by the way. Wait, book talk?
That nonsense, baby.
It all makes sense, and you'll understand why, because this book, Ergo, is an absolute freak. Okay, let's get back on track talking about Walmart movies. Now, obviously this isn't a movie, but I'm basically saying that this game just feels like a Walmart bin movie. But hey, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because sometimes those Walmart bin movies are really good and don't deserve to be there. But with this game, it's quite debatable whether or not it deserves to be there or not. Anima Gates of Memories was developed in 2016, God please take me back, by the development team called Anima Project, so they really put their whole animosity into this game and everything about it, I guess. First things first, looking at the game, it honestly doesn't look too bad. I mean, it came out in 2016. Whoever made it was definitely trying hard to, come across as edgy or cool.
Baby.
And unfortunately, in a lot of areas, it really backfired.
You look frightened, dear. Are you afraid of monsters again?
Monsters? Those are no monsters. Let me show you what a real monster is.
You play as the bearer. No, not the bearer of the curse. If I had a nickel for every time there was a Dark Souls 2 reference in this game, I would probably have like 3. Even some aspects of this game's story feels like it was inspired from Dark Souls 2. But hey, I don't blame them for stealing from Absolute Peak. The game's story starts with talking about this world's nations and how everything's broken and fragmented, and everyone is just currently fighting for the throne to rule everyone. And with all that conflict, a global war has basically started all around the world. And from every piece of fantasy fiction almost ever, you guessed it, the big bad, the shadows are going to consume everything in darkness. One of the big main factions that your character is actually a part of is called the Order of Nathaniel. And basically, they are there to fight against the darkness. And while this whole war is going on, they have been occupied trying to push back the darkness, shadows, whatever. And basically, they were oblivious to the whole war, and now things are going downhill. That whole time that they were occupied, they've been having their own secret wars away from the world to not let anyone know that darkness and shadows exist. Yeah, don't worry, I'm pretty confused too. Anyways, the Order is now not oblivious to this whole war going on against all of the world's states and nations. And meanwhile, while that's happening, there's this lady called the Red Lady who looks like a red mage from Final Fantasy, and she stole an artifact from them and basically screwed everything up for everyone. The only person that knew the purpose of her stealing that artifact and what she was going to use it for was Romeo Exit, the current leader of the Order of Nathaniel. So bro immediately started freaking out and started getting anyone he possibly can to recover that book. And that's where we come in, the bearer. Basically, you start off in this random town. The game doesn't really tell you where you are or why you're here and why you even started here, but here you are. So now that we're in the game, we can finally talk about the gameplay a little bit. And I love and hate this game's combat. It is so terrible sometimes. Honestly, I'm probably just terrible at video games, and I'm also playing this game on a mouse and keyboard when it's meant for a controller. One thing that I will not excuse though is the enemy's projectile attacks in this game. It's so annoying, it actually made me contemplate whether or not I was even going to make a video about this game. But I'll get more into the nitty-gritty later. For now, let's continue on with the story and see what's going on. As you make your way into the town, you'll eventually run into the Red Lady. And of course, you have that classic anime trope where simply just breathing causes the character's breasts to move up and down. Yay, Gooners, you did it again. Anyways, you meet the Red Lady, who actually seems pretty chill at first and is just trying to talk to you. But, the main character, being an Order of Nathaniel, basically a police officer, is just immediately like, surrender! Give me the book! Yeah, so that escalates things, because, She then explains that she had nothing to do with what happened here in the city and why everything looks so destroyed. Apparently, the inhabitants of this village, get this, set the entire town on fire, left, but before they left, they killed anyone in that town, so basically their own people, who decided to stay. Basically just so that the Empire wouldn't get a win over them, and so they destroyed their own city and killed their own people? What is going on? Anyways, after your yap sesh with the Red Lady and falsely accusing her, she sends her minions after you and boldly claims, "Goodbye forever, bearer of calamities." Like, girl, this is the first fight in the whole game. This is not the last you've seen of me. Anyways, after that awesome epic battle, the sound that these guys make when they die. Ergo, the freak diddler book that follows the bearer around, asks her why she didn't just kill the Red Lady when she had the chance. And it's because the Red Lady is her dad. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. It's because the Red Lady was actually the one who indoctrinated the bearer into the Order of Nathaniel and was basically her teacher. So I guess that makes us Tai Lung from Kung Fu Panda. I'll talk more about Ergo later, because he is pretty important, unfortunately.
Something like your teacher, huh?
Shut up.
Because it seems like everything in this game, story-wise, always connects back to him somehow. The bearer, for example, only has powers because of Ergo, and we'll talk more about that later. Alright, so now fast forwarding. Can I leave? Oh, sorry. I don't know how to explain this, but this game's graphics and time period, I don't even know if it came out in the same time. This game literally looks like Overlord. Anyways, you make your way through the town, you end up in this field, and you run into, surprise, the Red Lady again. And she's basically just taunting you, and you guys get into a little squabble, and she leads you to this gateway that she sealed, and that leads you to have to run around this field area finding ways to unlock this door. After you get that door unlocked, you unlock the next area, finally running into the game's first boss battle. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this boss was like pretty forgettable, which is kind of ironic because it's literally named Memory Night. And honestly, it was just your average tutorial boss. He had like 3 moves, it was pretty easy, and I'm not just like saying that to sound like some awesome epic gamer. But yeah, don't worry, the bosses kind of get more interesting later on. After beating the boss, you end up on this bridge area that looks very reminiscent of a certain area in Dark Souls 2. And it even has the fun, quirky little projectile archers that make the game purgatory to play. After making it through that hell, you end up at another boss battle, yay! And it's the Red Lady again.
Lady.
And I feel kind of bad for sounding so disappointed because at the end of this fight, she dies. Yeah, Bucky Winter Soldier appears out of nowhere and just kills her. And then you start fighting him. Meanwhile, during this fight though, Ergo, that freaky book, you learn that he can actually just transform into a human, and when he's human, this game definitely took equal opportunity for gooners on both sides because bro is like this tall 6-pack anime Giga Chad guy who just looks super cool and awesome. And honestly, I gotta give credit where credit's due because most games like this don't have any fan service for girls or gays. Anyways, after getting cars from JoJo to have health, a cutscene will play, and for some reason this game has like random white boxes or black boxes of like sensors, which I don't really think they're like censoring anything, they just like appear in the cutscene. I have no idea if this is like part of the game or like something to do with my computer or something, but it's kind of weird. After a couple cutscenes that don't really matter that much, you end up in this game's hub world, and from here is where you branch out and go to different areas of the game. You finally unlock the skill tree, and it's like you're finally out of the tutorial and you can start the game now. Brief story intermission time because this game is confusing as hell and I do need some sort of structure to this video. So a little rewind into the Red Lady fight. She mentioned that she was doing some sort of a ritual, and this ritual was basically made to stop Ergo's powers, basically our powers because our powers are connected. Yeah, I don't know, man. This game's story is just so confusing. But anyway, the book that she stole, the Biblos, had something to do with that ritual, so I guess we kind of know now why she stole it. Then afterwards, Ergo becomes Tumblr Sexy Man to try and save us from this ritual, so I mean, rare W to Ergo, I guess. Unfortunately, he was too late because the ritual already completed. Also, kind of crazy to see no reaction from the bear after the Red Lady gets killed. That was basically her master Shifu. At the end of the fight with Bucky Winter Soldier, a giant spirit bomb flashbang goes off, which I'm assuming is the ritual finally completing, and that's where we are teleported to the hub world and basically the beginning of the game. So now you are kind of caught up story-wise of why we're here. And when we get here, the bear and Ergo talk about basically the same situation. They have no idea why they are there, where to go, and what to do. After Ergo makes some very questionable remarks towards the bear,
I assure you, nothing has come close or done anything to you while you slept. Well,
we find out that his powers have been diminished here, meaning so have ours. Meaning we're basically level 1, meaning this is like the start of every Kingdom Hearts game. But thankfully, after completing the tutorial, you do have a couple skill points that you can spend to level up your character a little bit. If I were to rate this game's hub area, I'd probably give it like a 7.5. I mean, it kind of looks like the Nexus from Demon Souls, and also in this game's hub area, it gets kind of silly.
did you see that? Someone was there.
I know.
After taking our first few steps around the place, we can find this area that we can sit down, rest, save our game, and chat with Ergo. First question we asked Ergo is pretty simple. What are you? The bear claims that the Order of Nathaniel has been studying Ergo for centuries, and they have no idea what he is. They theorize that he was some malevolent manifestation of 1,000 evil souls. Other people theorize that he was a higher demon from another plane of existence, and some people thought that Ergo was a god. And Ergo, giving us more ammo to hate him, just simply doesn't answer the question and is just like, yeah, I'm him. The next question we ask him is why he wanted to destroy the world, because I guess that was something he wanted to do at one point. He basically denies it and says that it's all one big misconception, that people have been spreading around his name forever, and all he really wanted to do was just sit down on the throne. Asking him why, he just says he was bored. Then he brings up the whole mankind is its own enemy and humans suck, and gives us a little more insight about what's going on with the war. Apparently the Empire is basically fallen, and the ultimate war, as he calls it, is coming, and humans are to blame for all of it. The next question we can ask Ergo is why did he take our name? And I don't know if I explained this before, but when the bear was given her powers from Ergo, he needed something in return, and that was her name. And that's why we go by the bear, instead of like, I don't know, Karen or something. He says that he didn't necessarily want to take her name, it's just something that happens with all the people who sign a contract with him. His essence consumes something from you to link yourself with his power. And I guess in the bear's case, that was her first and last name. That's pretty unfortunate, but when it comes to making pacts and contracts with demons, I feel like them taking your first and last name, besides like your soul or something, is definitely a better deal. But apparently Ergo still remembers the bear's original name, and when she asks him to just tell her, he just laughs in her face and just says no.
I'm gonna get you out of here! I promise you, I'm gonna get you out of there!
Lastly, we can ask him why he even got sealed in that book in the first place. Basically, there was this lady with green hair who is honestly kind of giving Cece from Code Geass, and basically she did everyone a favor by putting this freaky man into this book, and unfortunately, even as a book, it doesn't really stop him from being such a freak. Okay, let's just move on because I am sick and tired of talking about this guy. Thankfully though, that was all the questions we could ask, and hopefully I never have to do this again. Next up, we just try to explore the hub and figure out where we have to go next. Going upstairs triggers this little spooky cutscene of your sleep paralysis demon watching you from the second story, and going up to the second story we find out that most of the doors up there are, guess what, sealed. This game really loves seals. I can't really poke fun at it too much because I mean it's literally like water fountain pool for video games to have locked doors or sealed doors that you eventually find a key to get through. It's just funny that like this game just loves doing that so frequently. After walking around for a little while and getting harassed by Ergo, I eventually stumbled across a door with a tree and it seemed like the Roman numeral for 1 right in front of it. So obviously that must be the first door in the first level of the game. Yeah, no. So you can actually enter this room, and it's just like this small puzzle room with a very simple puzzle of just simply moving a box forward to just jump on top of it. onto another area, and once you're up there, there's just like another flashbang moment and you get thrown into a cutscene. It seems like we were teleported to another dimension or something, and this is where we get introduced to the green lady. No, I'm just kidding. We haven't gotten her name yet, but basically she tells us to turn back. But I feel like me and every other gamer, when a game tells us to turn back yet there's still a clear path ahead, we're most likely just gonna keep going forward. Even Ergo wants us to go back, but the bear is just not having it. And he just starts getting really desperate trying to get us to go back. But you know how much I hate Ergo, so obviously I just kept going forward. Apparently this dimension is called Nowhere, and as we make our way through it, there are pathways forming as we go forward, eventually leading us to a place called Core of Memories. Kind of getting a little bit of boss battle vibes here. I'm a little scared. Oh my god, it's Cars from JoJo. Yep, he's back, and I guess he's an optional boss in this area because all those warnings that the green lady, I'm just gonna call her that until we have her name, and Ergo were giving us to go back were actually pretty reasonable, because this guy is basically impossible to beat at this part of the game. But you're probably expecting me to flex how I somehow beat him, and yeah, I didn't do that. This guy was actually really hard, and I actually went back like they told me to. After shamefully giving up, we go back and we get a cutscene with the green lady, and immediately Ergo starts flirting with her because it seems like they had some sort of history, but it's obviously one-sided. She gives us her name, and it is Eleni Grimoire, and she is the one who actually sealed Ergo in that book, so that's pretty cool. Turns out that she's actually the founder of the Order of Nathaniel. Yeah, I haven't really brought them up in a minute, but that's because this game's story is kind of just there to be there. It almost kind of feels like an afterthought, but like it's also right in your face, like at the same time. This entire section with Eleni just seems sort of like a waste of time besides 3 pieces of important dialogue. The rest of this conversation was literally just Ergo flirting with her, and for some reason Eleni was complimenting the bear for being one of the most attractive bears that Ergo has gotten. Guys, I'm here to save the world from like darkness or whatever. What is this? Before she hardly gets any bit of like important dialogue out, she then just starts losing her form because I guess she was like a force ghost or something, and she just like fades away. In her like 1 sentence of important dialogue, she mentioned like these entities, and I guess that's like our objective is to go find them. I don't know for what. I don't think they explained that, but yeah, we gotta find those backroom entities, guys. So it turns out that the room with the number 1 on it is actually a place you go to fight a super high level optional boss battle. Love that, guys. Peak game design in my opinion. And if you thought that was crazy, it gets even better, because if you go to the room with the number 2, there's just this big enemy with an insane amount of health, which you probably are supposed to come back to later. This game really loves that, by the way.
Stupid game.
Everything in this game is just come back later. And I guess that's cool, but like, I'm probably gonna forget. So yeah, no matter how many times you fight this guy, you'll most likely end up dying before you're finally able to kill him, unless again, you're a cracked, skilled gamer. Let me know what happens, because unfortunately I did not beat him. I'm not gonna lie, I tried to lower the difficulty after this, but the game made fun of me, so I will prevail. Now the game has kind of led us to the 3rd room, which is actually where the game starts. What the hell is that? I don't like that. After that warm welcome, we walk ahead up the stairs, and the bearer is actually asking Ergo for help or suggestions, like what to do. And you know what he says?
Why are you asking me for help? What do I look like to you, a strategy guide?
Anyways, finally we reached a new area, and guess what's here? More seals. Yippee! We reach an area with a puzzle and a new kind of game system where we have to switch between the bearer and Ergo depending on what enemy we are fighting. Honestly, it can be a little annoying sometimes. So yeah, the place with the puzzle and scripted enemy spawns. Turns out we're also not supposed to be there yet. Anyways, after exploring around for a little bit, I somehow managed to run into a boss battle.
A Noth? Here?
Existential devourers.
Yeah, those guys are bad news. This one is from a lesser hierarchy, but in our current form, you are not ready to face a higher one.
This boss was a little more challenging than Memory Knight, which is cool and awesome. We love that, and not a super high level optional boss that I have no chance of defeating. So I actually felt pretty good about myself after I won.
Feels good to be a gangster.
Initiating that boss battle actually opened a sealed door on the other side of the map. Yep, don't forget about those sealed doors. I'm honestly losing track at this point. After making our way back and fighting hordes of enemies, we are welcome to something that I wasn't expecting at all, to be honest. This was genuinely really surprising the first time I saw this, because I don't know, I wasn't expecting a giant area in a game like this, and I started to get all excited thinking about, oh my god, what's like all the stuff that I can do here? Spoiler alert, not much, but it does look very beautiful and nice, so now we know where Sonic Frontiers got its map design. I guess this field just had Ergo feeling some type of way, just feeling himself, because, whoa. He just starts breaking out in this song.
Ergo, I can't go anywhere. Bearers to know and ways to grow. You're reading Ergo. I can kill anything. Take a look. I'm in a book. A reading Ergo. A reading Ergo. A reading Ergo.
After that spectacular performance from Ergo, we then go on our way and explore this field, and it turns out most of the stuff that you can actually explore in this field is just like kind of on the outer edges of it. There's nothing really in the middle, kind of just there to run from one side to the other with enemies spawning in between. In this area, you are introduced to these like world building pieces of papers with little stories that are kind of like the holotapes from Fallout.
What? What the fuck is this thing? You got some kind of
After walking around a bit more, we run into another boss battle, which is actually kind of challenging. I actually thought this one was pretty fun. So, yeah. So what did I get from defeating this actually challenging and fun boss battle? Just some more world building. Yeah. I'll leave it up on screen for a couple seconds to give you a chance to pause in case you want to read it. After aimlessly walking around the field and fighting hordes of enemies and wanting to kill myself because of their ranged attacks, I eventually ran into an exit of the field, which actually led us back to a place we were at before. Oh my god, this is the first time this has happened. Yep, we're back at that one puzzle place that I wasn't able to do anything with, but there were scripted enemies there teaching me a new game mechanic. This time though, we are on the other side of the wall that we weren't able to cross last time, and here we run into that one guy from Spirited Away, I guess? His name is Zero Mask, which I feel is very similar to No Face. Either way, peak character design. Let's see what this guy has to say.
You're the entity that we saw before in the central room.
So he doesn't really tell us anything too important. He basically just explains to us about the world building papers that we can find, which we already knew and found a couple, so that's cool. And secondly, he tells us how to solve the puzzle in the other room. Thank you, Spirited Away guy. After solving this actually interesting and fun puzzle, we are awarded with another piece of paper. And back to the field we go, triggering another cutscene that seems like it almost had nothing to do with anything we just did.
May be able to control my powers better than I thought.
Shut up.
From here, I'm actually kind of lost and just walking around hoping to find the next cutscene that seems like it actually matters. So everything in this field, all the exits seem very obvious, like, okay, I should probably go there. This one is just a door on the side of a rock in the corner of the map. This is where I had to go. Entering this area honestly kind of scared me because I don't know if this is common, but I'm actually recording this video while playing the game, so I'm not just like talking over here like I've already played it and I know everything that's going on. No, bro, we experiencing this together, okay? And when I saw this room, it looked like I probably wasn't even a quarter of the way done with the game. I mean, I looked it up and the game only should be like 16 hours, but when I saw this room, it looked like I was in for like 100 more. Great. We'll leave that for later though, because now we are actually meeting the man, the myth. What was his name? Nathaniel? Oh, no. Oh, fuck. Romeo Exit. Yep, that's him.
Exet? Are you kidding, babe? The damn Supreme Inquisitor here?
Shut up!
I don't know how I'm going to explain this because I'm not using a script for this video, and what Romeo is saying is kind of confusing, but I'll try my best. Basically, Romeo is saying that he's outside the building, which is kind of odd because we're talking to him right now, right? Well, basically, there are two different realities, I guess, and the one that the Bear and Ergo are in are inside of this, like, cathedral castle place with all the monsters and crazy stuff. And for Romeo, the outside of this building that we are in currently, in his reality, is just like a dilapidated ruins, and there's like nothing there. So he had to use all his powers or something to bypass the barriers of reality in order to communicate with us.
The whole world is in chaos. Many of the rules of reality are breaking, and this place is the source of everything.
Romeo starts talking to us about the Byblos and talking about how it was a collection of prophecies made by Herael Grimoire. I don't know if we've mentioned them. I'm just gonna assume not. Anyways, they described certain conditions that would cause the end of the world, and the book itself was unimportant. What mattered was the contents. Yeah, no shit, dude. Okay, this is actually huge because Romeo is finally giving us, like, solid lines of lore and not just, like, some freak shit.
This time you got a real beauty. There's no comparison to the previous bearers.
Is she also Diddy?
Nah, she's just a crybaby. You and your eyes are still my favorites.
Oh, what? So, awesome, thank you, Romeo. Basically, one of the biggest points of the book was that if a bunch of certain unique entities reunited, they would bring about the end of all existence. And these entities are known as the Messengers of the End, or just the Messengers for short. Then he says that we've never really understood the prophecy fully, and that we've never been able to locate the Messengers until now. This place that we're in is somehow attracting them, and some of them are already here.
I believe the children are our future.
He doesn't know why or how they are even here, but they are, and they're meeting for the first time. So that's probably not good. Then we have our epic main character moment where we find out we're the only ones who can do anything to help. Then bro just starts LARPing or something. What is going on? You are my weapon. The darkness that devours darkness. My instrument of destruction. Find them. Annihilate them. All of them, or the world will not see many more sun. Anyways, he then tells us that he will try to help out from the outside reality and that we should get going, and calls us the Hunter of Shadows. That's a new one, for sure. Like, you know, he just thought of that on the spot and just thought it would be cool to say.
Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, shithead Romeo?
After talking to him, he's kind of just standing there in that room still, and he has a health bar, and you can attack him, which I didn't do because knowing this game, attacking him like 5 times in a row or something probably would have initiated a super high level optional boss battle that I had no chance of winning. So I just didn't even try. But I'm sure there is something there if you continue to attack him. Only real hunters of shadows would even attempt such a thing. Also, the room that he's in looks pretty cool. I really like all the windows. That's one thing I haven't really talked much about in this game, is like the environment and like the areas, environmental details and all that. But yeah, I think that is like the one thing that the developers really cooked with in this game. Like, all the areas look pretty cool. Pretty sure after talking to him, a way opens up out in the field area to let us go fight this weird gimmicky Bed of Chaos boss battle. It's basically like a Roblox obby, but your skill level is your health bar, so if you fall off, you're cooked. And at this point, do I really even have to tell you what my reward was for beating this boss? Oh my god! After talking to Romeo, a door behind the main steps opens up, leading us to this room, which seemed like this was probably where we had to go next. Knowing this game, no.
That thing says something like, it's dangerous to go alone. I will kill him.
Anyway, a character in here named Velez is this cloaked figure who describes themselves as not a memory or not even real or something, but they're just somehow there existing. I don't know. Don't ask me, okay? But from this person, we can learn a lot about the tower and pretty much just extra bits of lore. But unfortunately, they won't really tell us much because I guess we suck or they can't. They're not allowed to. I don't really know, but I'm sure they'll be important later on. We are able to purchase items from them, so we'll probably come back for that. After this, I was pretty lost, so I was just walking around trying to go back to places I've already been to just trigger a new cutscene and try to figure out where to go. Eventually, I ran back into that little mini-boss inside that one room that I wasn't able to, beat earlier, but fortunately, now I can. So, I beat the boss, thinking, okay, this is definitely where I have to go, and I go through, and it's just a bunch of, really annoying, parkour and stuff like that, just to get, a piece of paper, or just, an item or something. There's literally nothing back here, and when you get to the end of this area that was supposed to be come back to later, when you get to the end of that, it tells you to come back to later because there's a closed door that you can't enter yet. So, great game design. Love that, guys. Thank you. Now, do you remember that one room I went into where I pushed the block, I jumped on top, and then there was a cutscene with the green lady, and we got taken to that other dimension with cars from JoJo optional boss battle. So after leaving that place and them telling us to literally leave so we don't fight him, I'm thinking, okay, probably we'll never have to come back here unless I want to go fight him again. Yeah, so it turns out, after you jump up onto that place, there's a door straight ahead.
Does he know about the DORE? Huh? The door.
There's just a door straight ahead, no cutscene will trigger, no teleporting to another dimension, you can just go straight ahead, and this is where we had to go. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, trying to find out where you need to go in this game is, terrible. That's probably one of my biggest critiques, I guess. And now that we are here, it appears that we are in some sort of mansion. There seems to be, puppets laying around the place, which definitely helps build that spooky atmosphere. Looking around this place, the puppets haven't attacked me, so that's good.
Hope that they move and attack us or something. That would be so cool.
Oh my god. And it seems like there are paintings and stuff around the place that we have to unlock or find certain code words for, so that will be fun. Damn, that looks like that one dude from Fear and Hunger. Oh my. After looking around for 15 minutes, I actually found a door to go to, and I'm not gonna lie, that was probably my fault. I might just be clueless. Maybe the problem's me, I don't know. The door was on the second story, and inside was this orange column thingy, and when I used it, it opened a door downstairs, so that's nice. I didn't really have to think about anything or find any code words. Yay!
Solomon Magitech. Science of the Lost Times?
Unusual. It's not something you expect to see in a place like this.
Exploring around more upstairs, there is a door with the Roman numeral #1, which is probably where we have to go next. Just kidding. Did you forget what game we're playing? This is Anima Gates of Memories. That is probably the last place we have to go. So let's go back downstairs to that door that we unlocked. When we go downstairs, a boss fight unfortunately initiates. Yay. And this one was really annoying. After defeating it, we are finally able to go through that door that we unlocked. Oh yeah, one thing I need to mention is the music in this area is super stressful. It's like a constant battle theme. So that's fun. Anyways, in the new room that we unlocked, the puppets are now attacking us. Definitely did not see that coming.
Living evil puppets! Hell yeah!
After finding our way through multiple puppets, we reach a new area which kind of feels like a basement or something. This place feels really big. Thankfully, we do find a couple clues for some of the code words or passwords we needed. Oh yeah, here's more paper. Time for a very obvious boss battle. Okay, so this is a boss battle. Now, this boss was actually pretty fun. I really liked the design of it. It summoned puppets to fight for it, so it made it more interesting. Good boss battle. On my way back to the door that this boss battle unlocked, I discovered that I can actually go into the basement. So I went down there, and this part was not fun.
Traps. This is our best date ever!
I did not have fun dealing with these spikes. It was pretty much just like I was playing Unfair Mario. Anyways, after somehow managing to get through, I don't even know how I just did that. And unfortunately, that won't be the last time. Okay. Go, go, go. Boom. Okay, okay. I find these cells with these NPCs in them. There's like this cat lady, this helmet guy, King Vaughn for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. But I chose to free one of them because I had a key and I don't know, I just felt like I had to. We continue to walk around. Wait, what? Why is there a dead man on the floor? And it looks like there's this long hallway on the map because there was literally nothing to do down here. So yeah, is this the way back? Mansion, workshop, mansion, main body. And unfortunately, that's where I have to go. And also, there are spikes all throughout that hallway. This part was by far the most annoying, longest, like just terrible part of the game ever. Like I seriously felt like this was just pure rage bait. Like I was back in middle school playing Cat Mario on my school Chromebook. But like I did that. I went out of my way to do that. I was just trying to make a video for this game, bro. Why did you put this here? Why? Anyways, you actually run into Spirited Away guy after this prison area and he gives you an extra key to free another person. So basically, I have to go back and do it again. Okay, I think this is a good place to leave off for part 1. In part 2, we will find out these orange pieces of paper that I've loathed getting as a reward every single time I beat something in this game are actually used for something useful and not just something to read. Yay, so look forward to that. Anyways, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm still pretty new to this YouTube thing, and I'm not very good at time management or even guessing how long a video will take me to make.
What the fuck? No!
Yeah, my last video was a little too long ago, and I'd like to avoid that after uploading this video. But regardless, thanks again to all my subscribers for still being here. I appreciate all of you, and I got really nice comments on my last video, and I don't know, that was like the nicest thing that's ever happened to me. So I really appreciate you guys. Thanks again for watching. Look out for part 2, and also look out for my next video, which will probably be part 2 of the LSD exploration, maybe. So yeah, thanks again for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and are able to strive towards any dreams that you have.